Hello everybody! I am back with an updated Harry Potter wrap-up because I have now finished The Prisoner of Azkaban and The Goblet of Fire. I've read them and I've watched them. I did a video sort of wrapping up my thoughts on the first two books, so I figured it made sense to come back and talk about my thoughts on the next two books. There are so many things happening! I've learned a lot of spoilers through the years simply because I grew up surrounded by it, and I didn't really care that I was learning spoilers because I wasn't reading them, so they didn't mean anything to me. But a lot of those spoilers have stayed with me, and I remember them now that I'm reading, and I kind of assumed that there would be no real surprises for me along the way as I'm reading, but I have been so wrong. Every single book so far has left me feeling shocked or caught off guard, just completely surprised, and I'm so happy that they haven't been spoiled as much as I thought they have been. And I will most likely be revealing some spoilers here for these two books, so if you haven't read or watched Harry Potter yet, you might want to proceed with caution here. So just a warning. So first, give you an updated favorite characters list. Ron is still my favorite. He's so cute! And I love how he is actually afraid of a lot of the things they face, but he faces them anyway. Love his attitude and the way he won't take any handouts from Harry, who is about 50 times richer than Ron's entire family. And I totally understand his jealousy toward Harry and then Hermione in the fourth book, because I let jealousy get the best of me very often. Always feel like I can understand where he's coming from. A new favorite character for me, who was introduced in Prisoner of Azkaban, I almost hit myself in the face, is Sirius Black. He is a fascinating character, and I love his relationship with Harry. Severus Snape, so complex. I already sort of explained my love for him in my first Harry Potter video, so I won't repeat myself here, but he's such a fantastic character. I actually grew to start really disliking him, even though I love him. He is so unnecessarily cruel to people like Hermione when she had that beaver teeth curse put on her, and he made fun of her teeth. She doesn't look any different to me. Who says that? What adult, what teacher says something like that to a sweet kid like Hermione? I was so mad at him, but he still remains one of my favorite characters because he is so complex and so interesting, and he is the one I'm always wanting to learn more about. Cedric Diggory. What a guy. Always so noble and kind. Those Hufflepuffs, they're so sweet. Dumbledore, obviously, what a wonderful man. He's the kind of guy you always want in your corner, and he's funny. Hermione, although she gets on my nerves a lot, she saves the day, like, all the time. Harry would be SOL without her. Let's be real, Hermione is the real hero of these books. And my least favorite character, Draco Malfoy. What a little shit. He is in my house, and he is a disgrace. He's so nasty. And a lot of people say that Draco is their favorite character. So I'm ready to see some 180-degree turnaround in these last few books because ew. Okay, so now let's get into the actual books. Prisoner of Azkaban, I gave a 5 out of 5. It has been my favorite so far. I loved the complexities of the story. I love the whole Sirius storyline. Sirius Black, not like Sirius. I'm sure you all knew what I meant there. Anyway, and the ending completely caught me off guard. In all the ways I saw the story going, I didn't see it going there. I also really loved the time travel element. I thought that was really neat. And we learn all about the Marauders map in this one, which is so cool. I want one. The movie was good, but I feel like it missed so much. All of the Harry Potter films I've seen so far, I think, are a perfect example of how much you miss out on when you rely on the movies to give you the whole story. They're fun, and they give you a very basic idea of what's happening, but they carve like 10 layers of depth out of the story, and they don't explain anything very well. But back to Azkaban specifically, I liked some of the changes they made, especially to the time travel sequence, but they cut a whole huge important Quidditch match. We don't learn all about Snape's history with Sirius and Harry's dad and all of them. They didn't explain how Sirius escaped from Azkaban. They didn't explain that the Shrieking Shack was built for Lupin when he was in werewolf form, and like that's the reason everyone thinks it's haunted, because it's actually Lupin that they're always hearing howling in there. They didn't explain who Padfoot and Prongs and everybody were. They didn't explain why the Stag Patronus appeared. These were big, important things. So that annoyed me. We also lost out on Cedric in this film. This is the first time we really get to see what a wonderful guy Cedric is. When he wins that Quidditch match and learns afterward that Harry was injured, so he tries to tell everybody, well, my win shouldn't count because Harry is hurt. That's not fair. And I'm sad that movie-going audiences never got to see how wonderful Cedric always was, and why this book hurt so much more. Oh, something I did love about this film is when all of the chaos is happening outside of the Whomping Willow, and Snape darts in front of the trio and protects them from the werewolf. Oh, Snape, I knew you had heart. And Goblet of Fire, I gave a 4 out of 5. Super entertaining, stakes are high, and the film, this one very understandably lost a lot of content. This book is over 700 pages, so entire storylines were cut, which I was expecting. I think the thing I was most sad about was that they cut the Weasleys taking Harry from the Dursleys through the fireplace in the beginning. That was hilarious. I was laughing out loud when I was reading it, and I was really looking forward to seeing it on screen, and it was completely cut. I was so upset about that. They also completely cut the house elf storyline and Hermione's crusade to free them, which I really didn't mind because I don't like the house elves, they really annoy me. But in doing so, the film really lost a crucial component of Hermione's character. Her passion and determination and compassion are so clearly illustrated through this crusade of hers. We don't get to see that side of her in the movie, and I feel like it was really a detriment to her character, to cut that. They also weren't really able to go into Ron's issues, his jealousy over the attention Harry is getting, and his jealousy over Hermione and Crumb. I feel like the way the movie portrayed him, he was just kind of a jerk. But in the books, it's so clear that being the youngest in that huge family of his, he's always getting pushed aside. Being Harry's best friend, always pushed aside once again, and this was just like the last straw for him. Ron is really sensitive about the fact that he's poor, and he doesn't want to be in Harry's debt, and he's always feeling a bit inferior around Harry. But Harry, of course, envies and loves Ron's wonderful, huge family. He would give anything to have that. He has no one. He really needs Ron to be there for him. But all of this was just glossed over entirely in the movie in favor of all the action, which of course makes for an exciting movie, but you lose out on so much of the story. Another one of my favorite things in Goblet of Fire is near the end when the families come to support their kids in the very last task, and Harry was like, well, why do I have to go to this room where the families are? Nobody is going to be there for me. But then the Weasleys came to support him. That made me tear up a little bit when he walked in and saw Ron's family there for him. Oh, and at the very end of the book, when Harry gives his winnings to Fred and George so they can open their joke shop they've been dreaming about, but he asked them to first buy Ron some new robes. It was so sweet. And they cut it. I've already told you I'm a Slytherin. I started cracking up over Hamilton a few weeks ago when I was first discovering its glory. This is Slytherin related, not just a random Hamilton tangent, although that would be fine. I was resisting Hamilton for a long time because hip-hop really just isn't my thing, but the history nerd in me and the musical theater nerd in me was just, I couldn't resist it, so I kept going back to iTunes and listening to little clips of all the songs, and the first song that really caught my attention and I went to YouTube to listen to the full song, and the first comment I see says, Hamilton and Burr are such Slytherins. I was like, that's my jam. But yeah, I totally agree with this person's analysis that Alexander and Aaron are quintessential Slytherins, all about that ambition. Well, it wouldn't be a day in my life if I didn't go off on a Hamilton tangent, but I think that's all I have for the third and fourth books. I love them. I've already jumped into the fifth book. I'll be back with another wrap-up probably when I finish the whole series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Knox!